Well, welcome back. This is the third visit to the Labyrinth, the quiet garden at Goosebury Hall. In this particular section, we've got a number of paths which are running parallel. And when we have groups of people walking, what we have is they're obviously spaced apart. And sometimes people are coming towards you, sometimes they're going away, sometimes we seem to be almost running parallel. And actually on this particular path, one day we had a lady and she was walking, and there was a man who was walking parallel to her on the adjoining path. And she suddenly remembered the time that she'd been walking with her father in life until the age of 13, when, according to her mother, he ran off and went off with a hussy. And she found herself walking side by side to this man for a short section, and then he went on his way and she went on her way. And she said that she'd never had any contact with him ever since that had happened, and that she was now in her late 40s, and she thought maybe she'd just go and try and find out what happened to him. And so it was a sort of awakening moment for her to suddenly be walking side by side with a man for a short while, and then him disappearing off in one direction and she going in another. And so some weeks later she contacted me and said, I actually went and found the hussy, as my mother used to call her. And she was actually a very nice lady, but unfortunately my father had died about 2 or 3 months before I'd come to Goosebury Hall. And the sad thing was that she said, your father never forgot you, never forgot your birthday, never forgot Christmas. And he used to send you letters and presents and cards, and all of them came back marked return to sender. And she had a box of all those gifts and presents and cards that he'd sent that had been returned by her mother. So she suddenly realised that, of course, he hadn't forgotten her. He wanted to keep in contact, but that her mother had been the one who had said no, that she wouldn't actually allow them. It's odd actually when you're walking the labyrinth. Sometimes you think almost that you're going back on yourself, and that's sometimes what happens in life, isn't it? You seem to be going on your way quite happily, and then you're almost as though you're sort of going backwards, having to rethink things, re-experience parts of life, and revisit ideas. So in a moment we'll then go into the next section. In the meantime, just having a quick look just at some of the pretty flowers that are here. It's worth sometimes just kneeling and looking at them and looking at what's happening at ground level.